Hey everyone! Well, guess what? We are in part 5 of my Soul Care series, and this is it. We are wrapping it up, and I am so excited today to introduce you to a friend of mine. Her name is Erica Perez. Erica is a native of the Rio Grande Valley. She is also a member of Iglesia Bautista Jerusalén in Pharr, Texas. She earned a BA in psychology, a Master's of Education, and her licensed professional counselor degrees, all from the University of Texas at Pan Am. Besides her counseling practice, she is also an adjunct professor. Totally a woman after my own heart. Erica says that one of her callings is to help people live a life that is enriching and filled with purpose. Let's see what Erica has to share with us today. Well, hi, Erica. I am so glad to finally be able to interview you. Like I mentioned earlier, I've been wanting to connect with you for quite some time. And so I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today on this special interview. I wanted to just let you say hi to my audience real quick, and then we can jump into the questions.
Yes. Well, hello, everyone. And I'm so happy to connect with you again. And I'm so happy to just get to know your audience a little bit more. And I'm very grateful for the invitation to connect not only with you, but with the audience in which your blog and your YouTube video serves. So I hope that what we're going to be talking about today will be enriching for everybody.
Oh, I'm sure it will be, Erica. And I just want to say, just again, I mentioned this in the intro, but Erica is a LPC so she's a licensed professional counselor. And just in contrast to myself, I do counseling, but in a ministry context. I have a master's in family ministry, and I do not have an LPC. And that's why I reached out to Erica today. So I just wanted to ask a couple of questions, and specifically, in light of the pandemic that we've been in now for several months, and people have been experiencing a lot more loneliness, isolation, and even now with things being able to start to open up little by little, we have these social distancing protocols in place, wearing the mask, and things like that really kind of inhibits some of that personal interaction and warmth that we're so used to getting from our relationships, from people, especially those outside of our immediate family that we live together with. But what are some helpful tips that you can offer for some people who have been struggling emotionally? There is a great increase in that. We've seen that in the news, statistics of people dealing with depression, suicidal thoughts, and those kinds of things. So if someone is struggling with depression, what are some tips that you encourage them to do?
Mm-hmm. Well, number one, definitely find ways to connect. I know at this time we're distance socially, and a lot of our physical interactions we're not able to fulfill due to COVID. But definitely be creative in the ways that you choose to connect with the people that you care about and the people that you want to build relationships with, whether it's hosting Zoom parties or also connecting with them via chat. Maybe you guys have a WhatsApp or a group meet chat that you can connect with your family. Or one of the things that I do every week, I send out a video to my family, whether it's funny or hilarious or just something simple that I can send, that although I may not be in constant communication with them, they at least are hearing from me, and I get to pass on some of my personality and be funny with them. So that's one way. The other one would be to live life with intention. I know at this time it may feel like we may be living a very passive life, and a lot of our things that we formerly enjoy doing are dormant right now. So I would encourage people to also be creative in that way, and to be productive, so that during this time they can exit our time of COVID feeling that they just didn't go through the motions during this time, and they can be productive in the way that they fulfill tasks, they engage in behaviors that are productive to their well-being, and also they're building those connections.
Okay, great. So yes, being creative is definitely something that all of us have had, to kind of experiment with, right? I think so. As you said, finding those things that fill us. And I think all of us are different, right? Some of us are more extrovert, some of us more introvert. But I like your idea of the video. That's sounds like really fun and a great way for people to still feel like they're connected with you, even if they can't be physically there in person. So for those of us that have a loved one who may be dealing, let's just say, with a more severe form of depression, um, and sometimes, as Christians, we sometimes just think that things are just only spiritual, which I believe all things, right, have a spiritual connection. But for some people, it may be deeper than just a spiritual attack. It may be something that they're going through physically, emotionally, mentally. What do you encourage people if they are having maybe a more severe form of a battle with depression or a
Yeah, so if they have a family member that is dealing with these issues more severely, I would definitely ensure and encourage them to make it a point to reach out. I mean, when a person is feeling depressed or experiencing anxiety, a lot of the times what we do is we retreat. And also we tend to isolate ourselves. We start losing touch with the people that we cared about. We start losing our motivation with doing activities that we formerly liked enjoying. So as a family member, I would say, make it a point to reach out, call them, text them, send them motivational verses or Bible verses, or it may be a podcast that they can listen. And then also the other point is to just listen. Just listening can help wonders. A lot of the times as family members, we want to fix things for those individuals, and we want to take care of them because we're passionate about their well-being, and we want them to feel well. But it's not about fixing their issues for them. It's about empathizing with them and also re-emphasizing that you're there to support them and that the issues that they're dealing with are real, especially real for them. So definitely be supportive by listening.
So I really like that, listening and being there for them, because I think that sometimes we sometimes just don't know what to do, right? We feel like you said, we want to fix something, but we don't know how to fix it. But now so what I'm hearing you say is be present, be engaged, and just listen, be there for them. And so in talking or encouraging someone to reach out, as you said, I think that God has called people like you, people like me in a ministry context, but to be here for people when they are struggling through issues. And I think in church life, sometimes counseling can be seen kind of, I won't say taboo, but as something that people kind of wait as the last resort kind of thing. Especially I've seen that in marital counseling, when couples kind of like, they just struggle. And then finally, when they are like getting ready to get a divorce, then they reach out to counseling. And I think that counseling is a lot more helpful than just a last resort effort. So what would you say as a Christian LPC counselor to Christians that are listening and maybe going through issues and maybe are a little embarrassed or don't know like if they should reach out for counseling or not if they're struggling with something?
Yeah, I think one of the things that when we're thinking about whether I need help is building in that level of awareness that something is going wrong. And not only that something's going wrong, but it's wrong to the extent that it's impacting them in the day-to-day basis. And also the frequency in which that issue may be impacting them. So it may not just be an isolated experience and they only experienced that, but they were able to resolve that and overcome. I mean, that's a productive way that is with regards to resolving issues. But if it gets to the point where the issue is impacting their day-to-day life, is creating counterproductive thinking, counterproductive behavior, and the issue continues to impact them, definitely that would be an area in which they would want to seek help in order to assist them in overcoming that.
So what I'm hearing is that if somebody feels like they are at an impasse, right? So maybe they've been trying different things and then they're not getting any better. So that's definitely a sign to be able to reach out and get some professional help, or even talking to your pastor, right? Or ministry leader sometimes, like you said, is enough in being heard and being validated, being encouraged. But then also if it starts to affect your day-to-day. So great tips to kind of, I think sometimes we're not fully aware, sometimes we're not paying attention. And that's been part of my series on this soul care series, for us to pay attention to our inner life And I think it's important, like you said, yes, to kind of notice those things. So, Erica, in what words of encouragement? First of all, I just want to say thank you for answering those questions. I would probably have like 10, 20 more for you, but because of the time for the vlog, I just kind of just want to say thank you, first of all, for your time today. But anything else that you would want to say to encourage? The most of my audience are women, and so, but anything that you would want to encourage our, fellow believers, in this long pandemic, in light of an election season, in light of a lot of different stresses, virtual homeschooling still by some moms, and having to work at the same time. And so a lot of different things going on. But in your practice, I know that you've seen a lot of people dealing with different issues. And so what would be some encouraging words you want to leave with us today?
Yeah. So remember that purpose hasn't ended. Right now is an opportunity to continue to live out your purpose. And you can do that in many ways. For example, one, definitely engage in a routine, whether it's a routine where you have a morning routine and nighttime routine. Maybe in the morning you're reading a devotional, or maybe you're listening to a podcast. One of the ones that I listen is just the simple Our Daily Bread one that you can, it's free and you can just listen to. Maybe you are listening to music and that inspires you and motivates you. So engage in establishing a routine, and also like a family time routine and eating routine, because a lot of the times right now we're not even making time to eat because of all the homeschooling and other projects that we're engaging in. And then also engage in good habits in exercising, good habits in eating. So maybe you're taking a walk in the morning, or bike riding, or running, or maybe you're starting to learn how to paint, or do some jewelry, do some things that will engage you in good habits. The other one would be monitor your thoughts. So this is a good time to like check in and our thoughts, and what are our thoughts telling us? Are we engaging in a lot of negative thoughts? Because when we engage in a lot of negative thoughts, it definitely impacts how we feel and impacts how we experience, how we relate to others. So definitely keep your thoughts in check as well.
Great tips. So thank you so much. You have covered some of the things that I have covered throughout my series. So thank you so much for just affirming some of those things that I've shared. But great tips. And I think a routine is crucial. We have to have a reason to get up in the morning, things that we need to do, things that we need to maybe get organized. And I know some of us, that's not our strong suit for some of us, but I think, kind of having those routines in place help us, make us, right, to be purposeful, as you said. So thank you, Erica, so much for sharing your godly wisdom, and I appreciate everything you do. I know that you're making an impact. You not only are a counselor, but you are a professor as well, and so I pray that God will bless you. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Well, guys, isn't Erica awesome? I just love her and her heart for people. I know that she loves the Lord, and she is a blessing in every role that she serves, whether at her church, as a professor, or as a counselor. Well, thank you so much for being a part of my soul care series today. We are wrapping it up, putting a bow on it. And I just want to invite you, if you didn't get to hear every episode, to please go back. We were talking about the importance of mental and emotional health in this series. And I think it's very important that we always seek to have a healthy inner life. And so next, I am excited to share that I'm going to be taking a little break from my vlog, but that I will, in a couple of weeks, then start a new vlog series that I'm calling Home for the Holidays. And it's going to be just about things that we go through during the holiday season, and how the Lord can minister to us and through us during that time. So until then, I look forward to connecting with you guys online on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And please always drop me a line, leave me a comment. I look so forward to reading those. I'll see you there.